Do you know without systems, you cannot build a massive business? Without systems, your business cannot thrive. Without systems, you will always remain an entrepreneur or a self employed individual. Hi, beautiful people. Coach Annette Lawfru is my name. I'm a business consultant helping breeders and salon owners to acquire high value clients and to scale their business. I'm also a coach helping women to become their best self. If you're joining me for the first time, I want to say you are welcome. Today, I am going to talk about a very important topic that will determine the growth of your business. There are many people who are self employed, but they call themselves business owners. You cannot be a business owner if you are working by yourself. Yes. So, how do you take your business from a place of self employed to a place of being a business owner? In order for you to do that successfully, you need to put in place systems. Okay? Or maybe you are a business owner. Right now, you have a small scale business and you are looking at scaling your business to the next level. You're looking at building your business to become a medium or a large business. You need a system to get you to that level. So, what is the purpose of a system in a business? A system helps to structure your business. A system helps to make your business consistent in its operations. Systems also helps to avoid confusion. It brings order. It brings consistency. That is what a system is going to bring for you in your business. So instead of just talking all around about systems, I am going to talk about 5 pertinent areas in your business that you need to build or create systems for if you want to grow, if you want to scale. Okay? So, number one area is going to be in your marketing. First, for example, if you are a braider or a salon owner, might be you don't have a marketing plan right now for your business, right? You need a marketing system for your business. Some of you just go out and give out your business cards or you do word of mouth. Word of mouth is like telling people by yourself about your business. And some of you depend only on referrals from your customers or clients. So with that, you are confused because there is no particular system that brings in customers for you. For myself and the businesses that I'm helping, we utilize Instagram and Facebook ads as a means to acquire clients. Because we rely on this system, we can have the time to focus on other areas in our business. So it makes us to save time trying to think about how to get customers. Am I going to print cards today? Am I going to rely just on my customers to do referrals? Or it takes away all that confusion. It brings order, which means you have nothing to worry about because you know your ads for Facebook and Instagram are constantly bringing in new customers in your business. And if you look at the big businesses around the globe, they have a marketing system. So you want to make sure you have a marketing system. So when you have a marketing system, the next kind of system you want to look at is a sales system. Now, what is a sales system? It's putting structure, a step-by-step ways in which you do you do things in order to make a sale. It could be a sale of a product or a sale of a service, which means now you've done your marketing. The sales system will be what you do from when the pre-customers. Remember, sometimes not everybody that comes into your business ends up buying, right? So they are still at the pre-customer stage. We call them leads. So when you get leads into your business, that is where the sales begins. How do you navigate from when the leads come into your business to when they actually either book an appointment or you close a sale for a product? How do you manage that? You have to put a structure around that. So, for example, if you have a sales system like when people come into your business, the first thing you have to do maybe is to direct them to your service page where they can see the pricing and then determine if they want to book an appointment or not. You know, now if you don't have a system and somebody comes in and you take one person to the website where they can book an appointment and you take the other person to maybe straight to your address for them to drive and come to your shop to take a look at what you're doing before they book an appointment, that is confusion. You don't have a sales system. So you need to structure something around sales that is going to be consistent. With that, when people come into your business, you're not going to be thinking the next step. Oh, should I tell them to come directly to my location? Should I send them pictures of my work? Should I send them to my website? That is confusion. You need structure around that. Okay? So now when you have a structured sales system, the next kind of system you want to build in your business is your customer service system. What is your customer service system? It's a system that is going to take care of your customer inquiries, your customers, um, maybe problems or challenges that they have. How do you solve those challenges? How do you interact with your customers to solve those challenges? You need a system. For example, let's say a customer comes to you and after when their hair is done, maybe they are not satisfied, or maybe within 2 days, a braid is falling out. How do you resolve that? You need a structure, a step by step process on how to solve such issues. And that is where the customer service comes in, right? Are you just going to be mad at the customer, putting the blame on them? Or are you going to have a listening ear? Are you going to start by telling them, oh, I do apologize for this, we can fix it? Or are you going to tell them, We don't fix your braids when it fall off, because our policy states that if you leave from here without any issue, we are not liable for anything that happens. So what do you have as a structure in place to tell your clients or to communicate with them when an issue arises? You have to make sure that you have a system in place for that. That way, when issues happen, you're not going to be confused on what to do. You're not going to be terrified on what to do because you have a system. That is how important a system is in a business. How do you think large companies like Amazon, how do you think they exist? How do you think they resolve every issue that comes into their company? It's because they have a system for customer service. Okay? So you want to make sure you have a system in place for your customer service. And then the fourth area that you want to make sure you set a system for in your business is going to be the area of operations. Operations, just how your day-to-day activities go on in your company, in your business, in your salon, in your shop, whatever business you're into, your day-to-day operations. What happens when you come in the morning? Where do you keep your combs? Where do you keep your hair? Where do you keep things? Everything needs to have an order. Have an order for where you keep things, because if you don't have an order for where you keep things and an order of how you do things, you will always be confused. And if you have a team, sometimes because of your negligence or because you don't know where you keep what, you might end up accusing your team members of maybe misplacing your stuffs or stealing your stuff because there is no structure, right? So you want to make sure you have order, order of this is where we keep the hair, this is where we keep our combs when we are done, this is what we do, this is how we sanitize the combs after we use. Everything should have structure within your business, okay? And also another thing you want to look at is when it comes to operations is how you do the work on your customers, right? For example, if a client comes in and say, I want medium-sized knotless braids, right? You need to know how many braids carries medium size. You need to know how many braids. That way, if the customer comes in the next month and asks for the same style, you're going to give the same number of braids, the same structure and everything. That is what systems do. They make you consistent and make you accurate in delivery. And also, one thing that systems can help with your operations, especially when you want to hire people, right? If you're hiring somebody to work with you need to have a system of how you do things. Imagine that you're hiring somebody to maybe make coffee at your shop and you don't have a system on how you make coffee. And they come in and they make coffee. Maybe you put just 1 teaspoon of sugar and they put 2 teaspoons of sugar. That is inconsistency you're building. So you want to make sure that you have a system. We put 1 glass of water, we put 1 teaspoon of sugar, we put 3 ounces of sugar of honey or anything, just have that system in place. If you're braiding small braids, you put 5 on each side. If you're doing medium, you put 4 on each side. So you have to have that structure, because if you don't have that structure, hiring team members to help you is going to be really, really difficult to have a team. Because even if you have a team and you don't have a structure for your operations, you don't have a system for how things operate in your business, when they come in, everybody, there's going to be chaos because everybody is doing what they can do. And you, as the business owner, you're doing what you two can do. And so there is no consistency. When your clients come in, they are confused as well. Because if your client comes in and says, I want medium size, and they get medium size, then the next time they come and you're braiding something that is not medium size, you know, they might go away and never come back because there is no consistency. If we look at big companies like McDonald's, right? When you go to McDonald's, every McDonald's you go to, their burger tastes the same because they have a system. And that is why they are able to scale. That is why they are able to have franchises. So if you want your business to scale to the point where you're able to have franchises, you need a system for your operations. Okay. So the last but not the least is the fifth, which is going to be building a system for your finance management. Okay. How do you structure your finances in your business? First, how do you collect finances? How do you do your accounting in your business? And how do you do your reporting when it comes to like tax? How do you structure all of that, your finances? How do you do that? So you might decide, okay, this is how I do my finances. Okay, first I take my deposit. It could be via Cash App, Zelle, or it could be cash or credit cards. Whatever you use, you want to make sure you have that consistent structure, right? Or you want to do Cash App and Zelle for deposit payment, and then cash when the client comes in. So have that structure in place. So when a client comes or meets you on Facebook or somewhere you're talking about finances, you want to make sure this time around you don't send a link, make your deposit on this link, and the next time you say it's gonna be Cash App. Be consistent. Be consistent. It helps even your mind. When you're in order, you are at peace. You don't panic until you do things the right way, right? You don't panic. You do things the right way. That is what the system is going to help you. So this is how you structure your finances. So when people come in, you have a particular, you can say, okay, every money is being paid on my website. So there's a website link. You go there, you book your appointment, you pay the money. I don't have anything to do with the money. Or maybe they do Zelle, Cash App, and then cash for the balance payment. You can structure it that way as well. That is very, very important for you to have a structure. Then now your accounting or your tax reporting. Now, as a self-employed person or a small business owner, you want to find out how much does it cost for taxes. What percentage are you paying? If it's 13%, you have to decide, am I keeping aside 13% every day of my income, or am I keeping aside 13%, every week or every month? So you want to make that decision. That way, when is the end of the month, you already know I'm going to keep 13% of my income. When it's end of the week, you do that, or when it's end of the day, you do that. Just having that structure gives you peace. Because if you don't have that structure at the end of the tax season, you are confused. Oh, where do I get this money from? Oh, where do I get this one? How do I put this structure together? How do I get this money? But if you have a system for your business, you will not be confused. You will be less stressed and you will enjoy doing business. Okay? So, if this video helped you in any way, leave a comment, share the video to encourage someone that is an entrepreneur and looking to scale their business, or someone who is a small business owner and is also looking to scale their business. Share this video so that it can help them to structure their business, to have a system in place that can help their business grow. And also, if you're looking at scaling your business or even starting a business, my team and I can help you thrive in your business. We can help set a system and structure around your business that can take your business to the next level and give you the peace and comfort that you need while running your day-to-day activities as a business owner. I will see you in my next video. and enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao.